This is one of Alaska's most haunted structures. On today's outdoor adventure, we are in my home state of Alaska. We're gonna see a few things. One of the first things we're gonna see is Whittier, Alaska. We're about to go through a 2-mile tunnel through the mountains. And fun fact, I actually worked on this tunnel back in the day. Check this out. So if you're wondering, the tunnel into Whittier, Alaska is a one-way tunnel. So the inbound has to wait for the outbound, and both have to wait for the train, because this tunnel is also shared with the Alaska Railroad train. So the fun thing to consider if you ever do take this trip is you're currently literally driving right through the middle of a mountain. It goes in on one side and pops out the other side. And the rock walls is still the exposed mountain rock. So it's cool in that regard. You're literally driving through the middle of a mountain. Look at that blue glacier. So right now we are in Whittier, Alaska, and this here is the Buckner Building. This is one of Alaska's most haunted structures, and it might be one of the most haunted structures in the entire United States of America. Now, last time I was here, because I was raised in Alaska, this fence and these signs, they were not here. This is new. I haven't been back home in about 5 or 6 years though, because it used to be a regularly visited place for ghost hunters and all kinds of other people. But anymore, you can't get back in there. But here's what the Buckner Building is. This is a mega structure, well, mega structure. So this building was built to be an entire city in one building, and it was built to be bomb-proof. It was built in 1953 during the Cold War, and they made it really well. But then in the 60s, it was decommissioned, so it became abandoned. But because this building, the Buckner Building, was meant to encompass an entire city all in one building, it had bowling alleys and theaters and literally everything that they could imagine you would need for a city in the 50s. Then it was abandoned in the 60s, but it still stands. And they built this thing so well right on bedrock that it actually survived the 1964 mega earthquake, which leveled half of Anchorage, Alaska. But this building remained standing. They built it really good. Now, I know what a lot of you guys are thinking who like to explore abandoned areas and haunted areas. This looks like a marvelous thing to explore, and on its surface it does, but there's a reason they had to put up so many gates and cameras. This is a super duper dangerous place to explore. A, it's full of lead from lead paint and other stuff. B, it's full of asbestos. C, because it was built in 1953 and absolutely nothing done to maintain it since, it is crumbling, it's falling down. We're right on the bay, so it gets a lot of salt spray. All of that corrosion, everything like that is happening to this building. So the floors are super unsafe. So they're really trying to warn people to stay out of here. This place is toxic. Again, it was built in the 50s and absolutely nothing done to maintain it ever since. And so it used to be a hotspot for ghost hunters and just urban explorers to come check out. And when I lived here, I did poke my head in this building a few times, and it is super spooky because it's everything a haunted building should be. Ominous, broken down, full of graffiti, and even the energy just feels eerie. But you do not want to explore the Buckner Building in Whittier, Alaska. Full of lead, full of asbestos, crumbling infrastructure, so it's not safe at all. And the reason they couldn't tear it down, because it's kind of a menace, it's a nuisance, it attracts people, is because it sits right on the bay. And this thing is so full of toxic chemicals that they can't safely demolish it without worrying about a lot of that stuff flooding into the bay. Because here in Whittier, Alaska, this right here, what we're looking at, this is the most common weather. Right now, I think it's July 1st, 2025. This is July in Whittier. I think the snow will be off of the mountaintops for like 1 month, maybe 1.5 months before it returns. And Whittier is not by any means a tourist destination. This is not a common place you would go to in Alaska, even though they're bringing cruise ships here now. I feel bad for the people that come here because there's nothing going on in Whittier unless you're taking a fishing charter. In which case, yeah, fishing and hunting charters, pretty good out of Whittier, but the downtown is just a dock with a few cafes and tourist shops. If ever a building would be haunted, I suppose this might be one of them. But it's kind of deceiving because it looks like Arkham Asylum, but in reality, it's just a Cold War city in a building. That's what it was for. But it would certainly make a great setting for a horror movie, am I right? All right, so this is most everything you need to know about Buckner Tower. And I'm probably saying the name wrong. Buckner Building, Buckner. I don't know. This haunted building that you should not go through because it is toxic and dangerous. But if you are doing a road trip or any outdoors adventure through Alaska and you have time to swing through Whittier, it is a beautiful little spot just because it's quintessential Alaska, surrounded by mountains, surrounded by glaciers, but it's pretty much a locals only town. Nothing going on here as far as tourist activity other than charters. And if you do come to Whittier and you are a ghost hunter or an urban outdoor explorer that has to see these old ruins, dude, it's all blocked off, it's all fenced off, there's cameras, asbestos, lead, unsafe floors. Don't do it. Now that was a really fun experience. If you have an idea for an adventure that we should go on, please put it in the comments section. And if you're looking for some more adventure ideas, you can click one of these links and go to the page because there's literally hundreds of other adventures going on there, and I hope to see you next time.